Hi everyone, this is Chelsea. Welcome back to Armbridge Podcast, where we dismantle the system like the revolutionaries we are, one podcast episode at a time. Today is January 14th. Soon it will probably be January 15th as I am filming this very late. And to my knowledge, it's the first late night Armbridge episode. So I'm gonna keep my voice down because other people might be sleeping or chilling. I don't know. And last week, Sonica reviewed a lot of the zombie content that she's been consuming recently, so go check that episode out if you haven't already. This week, or on today's episode, I have a lot of things lined up, and as usual, with the episodes that I do by myself, I'm usually quite angry about something, and today's subject of my anger includes two specific things which aren't really related in any way. One of them is Descartes, the philosopher. Descartes. He is the person that famously coined the phrase, "I think, therefore I am." And I'm essentially reading about the foundational text that created this saying. It's called The Meditations on First Philosophy. I think the real name of it is a lot longer, but I'm not going to bother with that. I don't even know what it is. But, right, again, to go back to the phrase that I was just talking about, "I think, therefore I am," refers to the idea that if you think you exist right now, you do. But it's not for certain that everything else around you does. And Descartes decides to make this distinction by saying that anything you see in a dream is not real. For example, this phone case that I have here is replicable in my imagination. Like if I have a dream where I'm looking at my phone case, it's already somewhat confirmed that this isn't real, that this isn't tangible. And yeah, like, I mean, anything that can be replicated in your imagination must not be real. Like, how do I know that the people closest to me, that the things surrounding me right now are even real? They're probably not. There's this very interesting idea of impermanence, and like it freaks me out because essentially Descartes boils it down to the essence of the mind, right? Your thoughts. That's what makes you you. Your physical body doesn't even matter. You move and do things because that's just how it works. And he theorizes that there's a higher power above us, like a god or something, not necessarily the Christian god, but just a god or a being that seeks to deceive us. Why it wants to deceive us, I don't know. It really, I don't get it. But it's kind of like the Matrix. That's probably the best example that I can give you. I'm trying to look at my notes to see if I missed something. But, like, okay. So, yeah, I mean, when it comes to your actions, when it comes to anything that you do in real life, if it's replicable in your dreams, like it doesn't really matter. And speaking of matter, I guess like the most tangible thing we can think of includes like the three states of matter, includes things like mathematical reasoning and things that are as simple as 1 + 1 equaling 2. But get this, right? Okay. So for those of you that are listening, I am holding up 3 fingers. Okay? But what's important to know is that there's a difference, at least, I guess, according to Descartes' philosophy, right? That the value of 3 is different from the name of the number. And this was an interesting point brought up in my tutorial, my philosophy tutorial today, that, like, the name of the number, I don't know if I'm remembering this correctly, but this is what I got from it, that the name of the number doesn't really matter at all. By saying it, it sort of makes it false, right? The whole idea is that we don't know what God intended when he created the value 3. The value 3 is, 1, 2, 3 things, like a triad of things. But we call the number 3 in order to just classify it for our own reasons, right? But I could call the number of fingers I'm holding up right now 2, or 1, or heck, even 0, which is crazy. So, like, certain things can have like physical forms and physical embodiments, but the value is the thing that matters. So if you kind of like allude it, if you kind of compare it to the way that your mind is separated from like your brain or your body, for example, right? Like, I could speak and do things, but they don't necessarily matter. What matters is what's inside my head and my mind. So, like, my mind, my thoughts, my essence could be in a different body. They could be somewhere else. So it just kind of freaks me out, because people in my tutorial were also asking, like, does it matter if we know we exist or not? Does it matter if we think we're living in a simulation, which is essentially the whole basis of Descartes' philosophy? Like, does it matter if I exist? Like, and I don't know, I feel like sometimes learning philosophy is kind of interesting, because it kind of makes you doubt everything you really knew. It makes you doubt even the simplest truths. Like, is 2 + 2 4? I don't know. On paper it is. But is that the true I don't know. I don't know. It freaks me out. But philosophy, again, like what I was saying, it's interesting to learn, but I think somehow it made me think more apathetically, and it's very insensitive to say, yeah, nothing is real, considering all of the global events that are happening right now that are affecting people's lives. So, I don't know, it's just an interesting perspective. I think for me, I try to think of philosophy, especially this one, in the context of things that have happened to me that in hindsight weren't as big of a deal, right? Like thinking of success, thinking of my grades, thinking of very objective things that society has essentially created that I put value onto because I'm supposed to and whatnot. Sorry if my camera's shaking a little bit. I'm on my bed right now. As you can see, I have a comfy pillow in the back here. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. You know what else is weird? I planned out what I was going to talk about today in my head, and it sounded so good. But I'm not, I don't know. I'm not mentally here right now. I'm very sleepy. Okay. Something weird that came up to me the other day was an Instagram ad about a show, I think it's on NBC or something, right? So I'm gonna start off by talking about The Masked Singer, okay? So The Masked Singer, I believe, is originally a Korean show. I don't know if that's true, if it's like originally like from South Korea, but if you don't know, it's a show where like celebrities who you wouldn't typically think of being like good singers go onto this show with a mask on, and then they sing a song, and people in the audience and like some of the, I don't know if they're like called judges or whatever, but they're kind of like judges. They have to try and guess who the masked singer is, right? And it's kind of fun. It's an interesting show, and the US adapted that show, and it's pretty much the same concept. Like a celebrity who isn't a singer will, go onto stage, sing a song, and everyone has to try and guess who it is. Pretty basic, right? It's an interesting premise. Like, it makes sense. You can watch it with your family, you can watch it alone, and it's just kind of fun to guess and like see these people perform, because it's just so unexpected when they reveal, they take the mask off, there's all that suspense, there's a commercial break. But I got an ad for a show called The Masked Dancer. Okay. I watched the ad the whole way through because I was intrigued. Okay. How can you tell what a person looks like or sounds like or whatever, like any of their physical characteristics from dancing? And the choreos that I was seeing the choreos that like I was seeing were like really, really basic dances, because obviously like the people who are showing up on the show are not professional dancers, and that's okay, right? But the dances were not super complicated or not like super characteristic of who they were. I just don't understand, okay? And this is like my sub rant. Like, people pay so much for cable, and I get that there are some staples on cable that like people, probably can't easily substitute, like live sports, like constant programming, like for children, like there are children's channels that are monitored and whatnot. Like new shows on cable that update, every week and aren't on streaming services yet. I get it, right? But if I'm going to be paying so much for cable, I should be getting some good content. Masked Singer is decent content. Yeah, I don't really watch cable, but if I were to watch cable, I would think that's a good deal. They're bringing out some interesting game shows, okay. But who funded Masked Dancer? I don't understand. Either people think that The Masked Singer was so successful, this is the likely outcome, that it was so successful it deserved a spin-off, or that, like, I'm sure that not a lot of people pay for cable nowadays compared to, like, maybe even 5 years ago because of the rise of streaming services. So they're probably just like, yeah, since people don't pay for this, or since we don't have as many viewers as before, let's just throw whatever. Let's just experiment. Will this show be ditched in, like, a season? I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. It's just, I don't get the point of it. Like, how are you supposed to tell? Okay, actually, the only anomaly to this argument that I'm, like, preparing right now is what I call the quote-unquote costume theory. I don't even know. But there was a clip of Bill Nye on the show, spoiler, I guess, and he was wearing a melting ice cube mask, and then his costume was kind of based on that. And I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense, because Bill Nye is a huge advocate for combating climate change, and obviously he's a scientist, so that makes sense. But, like, still, I mean, even with that sort of obvious clue, I still wouldn't have guessed Bill Nye. My first guess literally would have been Ice Cube, like the rapper. That would have been too obvious, but that's my first guess. And unless you, like, really know body types or something, like, the only thing you can tell about the person under the costume is maybe their gender? But some of the costumes are, like, androgynous, like they could be worn by both, like, a man or a woman or just anybody. I don't understand the concept of the show. Like, I don't understand. There's no suspense. Because who could even guess? Who could even come close to coming up with a guess? Not the right answer. A guess. My camera's shaking again, I'm sorry. Why would they do that? No one asked for it, first of all. I literally don't know anyone that watched The American Masked Singer, which to me, in my opinion, is a decent concept. Who would watch The Masked Dancer? I legitimately want to know. Like, who would want to sit on their couch in agony to even procure from their mind like a single guess, right? I don't even know how much I'm paying for cable, and I'm already regretting it. I am so passionately confused and a little bit angry that I'm kind of gripping I'm kind of gripping my mic right now. Like, I'm kind of just like, like, what the heck? I don't know. I don't know how you could tell who someone is. You could put all of my closest friends in a room, blindfold me, put a mask on one of them, unblindfold me, and then there's only one of them standing in front of me. I can't tell you for the life of me who it could be if they just started busting a move to like jump it or something. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't know. I don't know. It's just not a good idea. What was the writing room like? Okay, so the Masked Singer is already so confusing. Let me just make it more confusing, and we'll just put in a ton of ad breaks to like fuel the suspense. I haven't even seen the show, and I'm already angry at it. Like, maybe it is a good show, and maybe it is enjoyable to watch. If you're on YouTube right now, or if you'd like to traverse over to YouTube and you've seen the show, please let me know if you've guessed correctly for somebody. And then could you also comment how you guessed it was them? Because maybe some of the other costumes on the show are kind of like Bill Nye's, like there's a subtle clue. Please let me know. I'd love to know. Okay. Anyway, I'm gonna head over to the latter part of my podcast episode today. I'm gonna be taking an alignment test. So if you know like the alignment chart that's like 3x3, where it's like chaotic good, chaotic neutral, lawful good, lawful evil, that sort of thing, I will be taking that alignment test right now. I've got to type with one hand. Okay, perfect. I've already done the first 7 questions, but I thought I would save the rest for right now, since I kind of rapid fired 2 very interesting topics that I've been grappling with for the past few days. Alright, sharing my screen. Okay. Whoa, very interesting. Wait, I can't full screen my computer? Oh, whatever. Oh, the link will be at the top here, and I'll also put the link to the alignment test if you want to take it in the description, both on YouTube and streaming. Okay, so I left off at question number 8, and this question says, do you become close to friends or hold most people at a safe distance? These aren't lettered or anything, but I'm just going to letter them. So, A, I have an abundance of close friends. B, I have some close friends. C, I have few close friends. D, I try to keep people at a distance. So personally, I don't have a lot of, like, friends. Or I'd say I don't have a lot of close friends, because obviously I haven't been able to meet a lot of people because of COVID, and I'm not going to be on campus until sophomore year, so that's exciting. But I don't have a lot of close friends, but I value them very much. So my answer, I'm gonna say I have some close friends. Okay. And this alignment test, I think, is for D&D characters or the game itself. I don't play the game, but I think, I just thought it would be cool to take the test. Okay. So question 9 says, have you ever betrayed a friend? A, I've done so more than once, and I sometimes get away with it. Oh, that's terrible. B, I've done so once. C, I've been tempted to do so, but I've never gone through with it. D, I'd never contemplate such a thing. I'm gonna go with D. Honestly, I don't know if it's a saying, but it's more of a sentiment. If you wrong someone that wronged you in an equal manner, it's going to make you just as bad as the person that harmed you, right? So it's like a lot of those like action hero revenge type stories where someone tries to seek retribution and then they find out the hard way that revenge wasn't a good idea from a mentor or whatever. So I kind of want to live by that principle. I wouldn't ever want to go through that trouble to like betray someone. So that's what I'm gonna say for that one. Question 10 says, how do you view lifelong commitment to a single romantic partner? Let me zoom in here. I can't read very well. Okay, A, I have or want such a romance. B, such a romance would be ideal if it's achievable. C, I worry I'd miss out on what others have to offer. D, tie yourself to one person, huge mistake. I'm gonna go with B. Such a romance would be ideal if it's achievable. Yeah, I do have a story kind of about how my, I guess, quote-unquote love life is going. It's I'm not gonna tell it though. It's kind of embarrassing, but okay. Okay, next question. Do you insist on repayment when lending money to friends? A, yes, and I write up a contract so there's no misunderstanding. B, yes, but I try to be flexible about the exact terms. C, no, although it's sure nice to be repaid. D, they just owe me a favor. I try to be flexible about the exact terms. Like, as long as you pay me back, it's fine. And I wouldn't lend money to someone that I wouldn't trust in the first place. So if there's an event where they just don't pay me back, like ever, that's kind of on me. I would put that kind of on me, like, oh, I should have been more careful with my money, or I should have been more thoughtful of what this person would do with it. And I never lend like a lot of money if I have to. It's never more than like $5. Usually it's like for food or boba or something like that. Okay. Question 12. Are you still in touch with childhood friends? Yes, we correspond regularly. Yes, we try to keep in touch. No, I move around too much. No, I don't have anything in common with them anymore. If I think about childhood friends, like starting from elementary, I would go with the last answer that says I don't have anything in common with them. Like, I never had a falling out with people I considered to be my childhood friends, but we just like grew apart, you know, we have different interests, and in high school, we went to different high schools. I don't know if I've known them since elementary school. I think I met my friend Gabby, who was on the podcast a few times. I met her, I think, when I was in 5th grade. So that was elementary. And my friend Eddie, who was also, I think he was on one of the earliest episodes of the podcast. And I don't know if I met him in elementary school or not, but even if we did, we weren't really friends until like halfway through middle school. So that was a middle school friends, yes. Elementary school friends, no. But I do follow some of them on social media, and they're doing really well. Okay, 13. Do you donate time and money to improve the local community? Yes, the needs of the community are my top priority. Yes, I donate as much as I can once my own needs are met. No, I don't have enough time or money to spare. No, my local community would be a waste of time and money. Oh, I mean, even if your town sucks, like, I'm sure there are some people that you like in there. Okay. Well, right now, can't really do that. I'd say that I donate as much as I can once my own needs are met. Yeah. Because I like volunteering. Volunteering is fun. And donating, I've donated a little bit to charities and whatnot, but I don't know. I also really want to start supporting small businesses, especially when I move into my new place when I go to school. Like for buying decorations for the house, like kitchen stuff. I really want to buy from like small businesses, and I know that's a little bit expensive sometimes, but it's kind of worth it because small businesses create some nice stuff. Okay, 14. Your community is threatened with invasion. Okay, this is very much where the D&D starts to kick in. Do you help defend it to your last breath, defend the area with the rest of your community, flee as soon as things look grim, cut a deal with the enemy to act as a spy. I think I'd defend the area with the rest of the community. So the thing about me is that I feel like I have a decently strong willpower, but when it comes to physical strength, I don't have that much strength. My core strength, I think, is okay. My leg strength is okay. My arm strength, however, no, I'd be dead. So if it were a fist fight, I'd be dead. Okay. 15. If you were injured and required immediate assistance, would members of your hometown agree to help? Yes, because they know I do the same for them. Yes, because I'm generally well liked in my hometown. Probably not because I'm distrusted in my hometown. Definitely not. I've made some enemies in my hometown. I wouldn't really know if I'm generally well liked. I mean, according to Descartes, I probably don't exist to a lot of people, but I would hope that, I've been able to put off a good vibe into the community, and that where I live, it seems to be pretty nice. It seems like people care about each other, and it's not so bad. Well liked, I don't know, but will the people help me because I think they're nice people? I would think so. Okay. 16. Do you respect the laws and authorities of the community? Yes, without question. Yes, they're generally the best way to govern. When it suits me, there are some laws I just don't agree with. I don't pay attention to the authorities, they've got no hold on me. I am very afraid of law enforcement. Let's see. Oh, do you respect the laws and authorities of the community? So it's not so much if you follow it. Okay. I'd say when it suits me, there are some laws I just don't agree with. So, am I going to go into that whole thing? No, but because of my knowledge of recent events and past events, and yeah, there are some things I don't agree with. Do members of your hometown shun, avoid, or mock you? Oh, yes, their small minds can't handle anyone outside the norm. Some do, because I don't always fit in. No, I'm generally seen as normal. No, I set the standard for what is normal in my community. I'm generally seen as normal, I guess. Maybe the best example would be that at one point I was at swim practice and my coach was playing hip-hop music for just during our workout. And I remember stopping and being like, what playlist is this? It's really good. He was like, you don't look like someone who listens to rap music. So I don't know what that really says about me, but I do listen to a lot of rap music. Okay. Would you stand for office or seek to represent the interests of the community in some public manner? To do so would be an honor I joyously accept. Of course, it's everyone's duty to do so. Only if no one else could handle the job. No, I don't want to be responsible for the community's welfare. I'll go with only if no one else could handle the job. More so in the sense that if there's something super dire in my community that I feel like I have to address, I would definitely do it. But if I had, a family and friends that also know me, it could be burdensome to be associated with me as a public figure if that were to happen. So, I don't know. It would depend on the circumstances. Okay. Your country is racked with famine. Would you share what little food you had with others? Eat as little as possible yourself and share the rest. Steal what food you need to survive. Steal as much food as possible, then sell it back to the community at a high price? Oh my god. Okay. I would go with eat as little as possible yourself and share the rest. Because you can't help others if you yourself are not in the capacity to help others. And I think everyone sort of has this, innate idea of like self-preservation, and preserving one's own life. But that doesn't necessarily mean you're selfish. It just means, everyone is looking out for themselves in some way. That's why we have societies and enemies and whatever. If offered enough money, would you slip a poison? Oh, this is question 20, by the way. Would you slip a poison into your king's drink? Yes, I've done similar things before. Yes, if I thought I could get away with it. No, although a vast sum of money would tempt me. No, and I'd warn the king of the plot. Interesting. Honestly, the money would tempt me. I am unemployed. I am a college student. And I've been constantly manifesting a mansion by the coast in northern Italy. Wait, I'm thinking about this now. And wait. Okay, I think there would be coasts in northern Italy because there are lakes up there. Yeah, southern Italy is duh, like where the coast is, because there's the northernmost part of Italy where there's still seawater. Okay, there we go. That money would tempt me very much. Okay. 21. A plague is sweeping across your country. Would you undertake a dangerous mission to find the cure, heal the sick as best you can, avoid contact with the sick, flee the country? Wow, okay. Okay, we're gonna think in fantasy terms of a plague of D&D because they do mention a dangerous mission. So I'm putting myself into like medieval fantasy mode, like Merlin mode. Again, I have no physical arm strength, and I am not experienced in combat, nor am I ripped enough to feel like I could handle somebody in combat. So I'm gonna go with heal the sick as best you can. I'm gonna hold down the fort. I'm not gonna do the scary, dangerous part. Okay. 22. Do you respect the lawful authority of the rulers of the land? Yes, long live the Queen. Yes, our rulers are generally fair and just. No, a ruler is no better than anyone else. No, rulers are invariably corrupted by power. Well, a ruler is no better than anyone else. So you gotta think for the people. Socialism, I think. Yeah, I don't know. Because, obviously, in our government, it's not just the president. There are a ton of other people that influence the ideas of the president. And there are some politicians that I do like, but when it comes to like the highest in power, there's a lot of doubt. Because the president can't do anything by themselves all the time. There's always like someone in government that has to make some kind of decision. 23. If you were offered a reasonably lucrative deal, would you spy for a hostile foreign power? Yes, because this nation could stand to be knocked down a peg. Yes, because the nation's secrets mean little to me. No, because I might get caught. No, because I'd never violate the trust my nation puts in me. Oh. I think I mentioned this in another podcast episode, but Socrates, according to Plato, makes the argument that wherever you live, you've essentially consented to the laws of the land and you should follow them, and that's a form of justice, right? I was born in the United States. I must agree with the laws and whatever happens in the United States. If I feel that I am wrongfully punished by the laws of the United States, that's not right, because I was born here, I was raised here, and I've had a good life. So honestly, what if the nation I were living in was like New Zealand? I would never betray New Zealand. I love Jacinda Ardern, like she's my role model, dude. Man, lucrative as in money? I would, okay. Maybe a hostile foreign power. Okay, so we don't like this person. Okay. I would just be afraid of getting caught, I think. Because if you're caught by either party, like if you're caught by the home nation, which you're responsible for, or if you're caught by the foreign power, like if you're not doing what you're supposed to do, they're both equally bad outcomes. 24. Do you rely on the government to enforce contracts and property rights? Yes, because maintaining the rule of law is more important than any individual dispute. Yes, because the courts are best equipped to handle such disputes. Are you kidding me? The government can't even pave roads. What medieval kingdom is this? They suck. Absolutely not. If I can't defend myself, I don't deserve to have it. That was a nice note there. Do you rely on the government to enforce contracts and property rights? I guess so. I mean, I would think that the courts are best equipped to handle that. I don't know about that. I don't know. That one's a little weird to me. 25. If imprisoned, would you injure or kill others to escape? Yes, serves them right for locking me up. Yes, they knew the risks when they took the job. No, except for minor wounds that will heal easily. No, those guards are just doing their jobs. If I'm being... Again, I'm overthinking in this situation, but it depends. If the guards are chill, they're just standing there, like, no. No, I wouldn't kill them. But if they suck and they are oppressing me, yeah. I would rough them up if I could. Maybe minor wounds? You know, I gotta be crafty, you know, whole, like, plastic spoon in the ground type escape plan. If you watch the Grand Budapest Hotel, they had a fantastic prison break scene, which I enjoyed very much. So, I'm just plugging stuff that I watch at this point. Okay. 26. Do you accept a noble's right to treat badly the serfs who work on his land? Oh, hell no. Hell no. The options say yes, they're lucky they're not slaves. That's basically slavery if you're being an asshole. Yes, because sometimes only fear will motivate them. No, nobles should rule as kindly as possible. No one has any right to treat another badly, period. I'm gonna go with the last one. Yeah, abolish the death penalty. Bye. Okay. 27. You have accidentally committed a crime? Do you turn yourself in and attempt to make restitution to the victim? Turn yourself in, throwing yourself on the mercy of the court? Hide your involvement, lying if you have to. Try to pin the crime on another. Honestly, I would say turn yourself in because that's the right thing to do. But if you're in that situation, you would probably try to lie. Or for me, I would probably try to lie. You never know until you experience it, you know? Okay, honestly, accidentally commit a crime? Like, you accidentally rob a bank? You accidentally steal an old lady's purse? Like, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean, dude? Like, okay, I'm just gonna... I don't know, maybe the right thing to do is to turn yourself in an attempt to make restitution to the victim. Okay. 28. If guilty, would you confess to a crime? Yes, because it is my duty to do so. Yes, because it might get me a lighter sentence. No, I'd make the magistrates prove my guilt. No, and I'd try to prove my own innocence. Honestly, plea bargaining does kind of work. Well, it also doesn't work, but sometimes it does. 29. Would you express a revolutionary political opinion if threatened with punishment? Yes, I'd rather be punished than remain silent. Yes, somebody's got to speak the truth. No, although I might privately express my opinion to friends. No, politics aren't worth getting worked up about. Yeah, someone's got to say the truth. V for Vendetta? I'm probably going to make an episode about that on my other podcast, which I have to catch up on. Movie-ish. I'll link that in the description as well. Okay, 30. We're almost there. We only have around 7 questions left. I don't know if I'll do a deep question segment because I'm kind of answering some questions here. We'll see. So 30 says, while traveling, you witness an assault. You are ordered to testify, which will delay your travel significantly. Do you slip out of town at night to avoid testifying, deny you saw anything, remain reluctantly, testify and leave, remain until the trial's conclusion in case further testimony is needed? Yeah, I mean, you gotta help someone out that might have been hurt in this crime. So, like whatever travel it is, if you're being delayed to help someone, who was obviously in a bad situation, like, you can delay your travels for a little bit, Maybe they'll even give you a pass to wherever you're gonna go. Okay, 31. What is the best use of wealth? To help the destitute and less fortunate, provide for the needs of friends and family, to stay on top of the heap yourself, to not only stay on top, but to keep others from climbing to your level, to help people, the destitute and less fortunate. Honestly, if I were wealthy, like, what do you do with the rest of the money? Once you have everything that you'd like, all you need is a living wage. Maybe not like bare minimum living wage, but, enough to satisfy the few things that you want. Then just give the money away. Like, why do billionaires exist? It's so stupid. Like, what are you gonna do with that money? Even if they were millionaires, they could still live a lavish lifestyle. It's the capitalism for me. Anyway. Okay, 32. When confronted by beggars, do you give generously, give moderately, give only what you wouldn't miss anyway, $1 or $2 at most, ignore them as you walk by? Will they ignore me though? Probably not. Give moderately? Like, I wouldn't hand them my credit cards, but cash, jewelry, sure. My life could be at stake. Okay. 33. By using magic, you could fool village merchants into thinking your copper pieces were made of gold. Oh, do you? Yes, and I'll buy as much as I can. Yes, but I'll only cheat the rich merchants. No, it's too risky. No, those merchants have families to feed. Huh. Do I do it? Let's see. I'll only cheat the rich merchants. If you're a poor merchant, you got a family to feed, I will not cheat you. It's not fair. You have 2 job offers. One pays more, but the other is secure and steady. Which do you choose? Definitely the lucrative job. Steady work sounds like drudgery. Probably the lucrative job, although I'd look into the secure job. The secure job, unless the other job was outrageously lucrative. Definitely the secure job because I plan for the long run. Steady work sounds boring. I'm taking the lucrative job. Bye. Okay. 35. What's the best path to wealth? It's a matter of luck and being in the right place at the right time. Staying flexible so that you can take advantage of good opportunities. Following a long-term plan that incorporates a comfortable level of risk. Hard work and perseverance. I say staying flexible. Because for me, I think I've missed out on a lot of opportunities just because, like, I didn't want to go out of my comfort zone. So I think staying flexible and trying a lot of things is interesting and a good way to wealth. The last question is, if you accepted a job or contract, would you try to finish the task even if it got much more dangerous? Yes, my word is my bond. Yes, because it's good to have a reputation for dependability. You can bet I'd be renegotiating. If it's no longer a good deal, then the deal is off. Yep, that's my answer. Okay, so what is my alignment? Wow. I am literally right in the middle. That's crazy. You are neutral good. So, okay, before I elaborate on my alignment, I will not be doing a deep question segment because I've already been recording for so long, but I will recommend to you my song of the week, which is Compensating by Amine. It's just a song that I've been replaying a lot recently. Whenever I find new music that's like relatively good for me, I kind of just replay it until it's done. But yeah, I don't know, it's a really nice song. It makes me happy. It has good vibes, and even if you're not really into hip-hop music, I think you might like it. So if you're on Spotify or Anchor, the snippet of it will be playing now unless you have Spotify Premium. Good for you. And if you're on YouTube or any other platform, my alignment is going to be revealed shortly. So I am neutral good. I don't know. I always thought I was like chaotic good or lawful good, but let's see what it says. So neutral good says, a neutral good character does the best that a good person can do. He is devoted to helping others. He works with kings and magistrates, but does not feel beholden to them. Neutral good is the best alignment you can be because it means doing what is good without bias for or against order. However, neutral good can be a dangerous alignment when it advances mediocrity by limiting the actions of the truly capable. Okay. Man. So I had a lot of answers. Actually, I had an even number of answers for neutral good and chaotic good. I had the least amount of answers for lawful evil, which kind of makes sense. I had a few chaotic evil answers. My neutral and chaotic evil answers were even. My true neutral and chaotic neutral, those were even. And I had more good answers than neutral and evil. So I guess that's not bad. I guess I'm just kind of vibing then. I suppose. That's nice. So yeah. That's gonna be it for my episode today. I hope you enjoyed it. I don't know. Whenever I do solo episodes, I really question how well I did because I just go through so many things in such a short amount of time, and especially the first two things I talked about were so random. But I don't know, as is the way that Armbridge works. So I hope everyone enjoyed the episode. Please, make sure to follow our socials at Armbridge Podcast on Instagram, at Armbridge Pod on Twitter, and the website doesn't have much on it right now, but it does have some of our personal Spotify playlists that we've made for you guys. and it has a lot of the songs we've been putting out on the episodes. So please visit armbridgepodcast.card.co, and we will be seeing you next week with an episode about Greek mythology. It gets a little hectic and a little bit crazy. So in the meantime, have a good night. It is now January 15th. I really did make it into the next day. So, enjoy your day, enjoy your weekend, and we will see you next week. Bye!